All right, here we are, everyone, back at it for the Recalibrate Your Creative Confidence workshop. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me on Facebook. I just want to make sure that we're all good. I've been loving seeing everyone's reflections and revelations and really just honesty and awareness, really looking at yourself and what the areas are that you need to focus on and looking at that capability side. Is it time and energy and needing to re-scope those creative desires for now to build the foundation? I can hear you. Awesome. Thank you. Or is it the ability side, which is like, cool, let's come to terms with where I'm at in skill level and see all that negative chatter and self-talk for what it is, which is a distraction from us getting to work and creating that consistent work and showing up so that we can get the skills that we so desire. So I've been really excited to see you all take that in and process that. So today what we're going to do is look at, okay, what do I do now? What do I make? A lot of times people come to me and they don't have ideas or they don't know where to start. You're like, okay, I want to do stuff, but I don't know what to make. So we're going to look at that today, but some of the stuff from yesterday is going to seep into it as we go. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. So let me know in the comments if you can see my screen too. So a lot of people have probably heard this phrase. They're like, just write what you know, or, make what you know. And I find this statement really unhelpful because it's so vague. And it's like, okay, well, I know a lot of things. What am I supposed to do with that? So the way I see it is you can start on either end of this spectrum when you're thinking about, okay, what am I going to create? I know I want to do paintings, or I know I want to write poems, or I know I want to write songs or whatever. You can pick either side of this spectrum. You can go on the side of joy or the side of pain and use either one of those as your springboard to think of ideas. So let's start with joy. So when you think about joy, it's really just what are you really into right now? What's making you happy right now? Or what are you kind of obsessed with? And you can, get a piece of paper out and write this down if you want to brainstorm right now and say like, yeah, what am I really interested in right now? Or like, what's just making me happy right now? And, for me, it's long walks outside, chocolate, the color red, flowers, gut health, coffee, sunshine. You can see how these are just like really basic things. But this list, your list of like, oh, what brings me joy, this can be the starting off point to think about, ooh, maybe I can take one of these and run with it. So what you're going to do is start making that list, pick one of those things and say, what do I have to say about that? Or how do I feel about one of these topics? So for chocolate, because my medium is drawing on the iPad, I could draw 100 drawings of chocolate candy bars, chocolate cake, chocolate M&Ms, like every different type of chocolate. I could do a new drawing about chocolate every day. I could draw myself eating chocolate with like a pleased face. I could draw my hands holding the wrapper. It is endless when you cue up your creative mind with that kind of prompt or topic or theme. You're putting these constraints around your creativity, which allows you to generate ideas. So there's this saying, creativity loves constraints, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. So let's talk about some artists who use joy as their springboard. One of them is a very famous French Impressionist painter, Claude Monet, that you probably know. You probably know him for his water lilies, but actually my favorite work is his series of haystacks. And Monet was obsessed with painting outside and capturing light. It brought him so much joy to be in the outdoors and observing how the landscape, flowers, nature changed as the light shifted throughout the day. It made him so happy, and he wanted to see how he could capture that. And he did with his series of haystacks, his series of water lilies, his garden paintings. All of that was coming from this place of joy and appreciation for nature. And that was his springboard. He's like, okay, what do I have to say about that? How do I feel about that? How can I capture that given the skill set that I have right now? Now, touching on what we were talking about yesterday, of course, Monet did not start here. And I think this is the big clash and misconception that people have when they look at the creative process. They get all down on themselves and be like, oh, why can't I just make paintings like Monet? And if you look at Monet's early work, it doesn't look anything like what you see as his most famous popular paintings. Look at his really early work. When he was a teenager, he was drawing pencil caricature drawings of people in his school and his neighborhood. They're like little, like sketchy comic characters of people. He was learning how to draw. And then from there, he got training and he got better and he learned to paint. But people, I think, are missing this middle piece of all of those hours and reps that he had to put in to be able to get to this point where he could be like, okay, cool. I'm going to capture the light of these haystacks. And he did 25 paintings of these haystacks, all in different lighting scenarios. Same with the water lilies. He does series of a lot of different things. This artist, Kalita Rawls, she's an LA-based artist, and her joy started with water. Now, her work is actually very political. There's a lot of very serious themes in her work. But when she started this series on water, it started with her love and her joy for water. She was pregnant with her third daughter, and she started swimming as a form of exercise. And it made her feel so good to be in the water. And it just was this very meditative thing because of the breathing. And she felt the lightness because she was in the water and she was floating. And she was just swimming, 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 and feeling the joy of being there in the pool, noticing the light and just really just loving water, joy with water. And that brought her to this series of work that she is still doing today, where her entire focus is water. Water, 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 water. That's what Kalita does. And she has a very deep reflection within water where she's talking about themes of segregation, themes of, the history of why Black Americans or Black people in general were not given access to pools. There's a lot of themes that come in with all the shootings. She has these little Easter eggs in her paintings where she's hiding maps and things inside the water. But she's coming at it from a place of joy and beauty, enticing you in and then creating meaning within this piece. And it all started from this joy with water. It's so simple, right? But you can see how you can go down the rabbit hole when you give yourself a chance to focus and have those constraints. Nan Shepherd, she is a Scottish writer. She is not living today, but she was I think she passed in 2012. She is a nature writer. So her great work, she was a poet, she's a nature writer, she wrote novels, but one of her great works, The Living Mountain, was based off of her hill walking. She was a hill walker, which is basically like you're climbing, but you're not quite a climber. There's a little scrambling, if you know the terms of climbing, but it's mostly walking in the great outdoors, getting to a summit in a more gentle way than scaling a mountain. And it was her observation and love for nature and landscape that led her to the topics that she was writing. So she was writing about the beauty, taking field notes about the different plants, and incorporating that with some metaphysical themes around why humans aspire to reach these high, grand places within nature. And she was later recognized after her death for The Living Mountain, but she has a lot of other works, but it all stemmed from this joy of nature. And let's look at, the music world. Pharrell Williams, the song Happy, it's literally a song about happiness. And like, look at the lyrics. It's not that complicated. It's like, it might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here. You can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. Like, if you read it as if it was not a song, you're like, cool, this is a song just about being happy. This is actually written for Despicable Me too, I think, but then later the song just kind of like took off and became a global sensation. But you can see how it's like, cool, if I want to write a song or sing a song, it can come from this place of joy. And then the other side of the coin is pain. So let's go to the other side of the spectrum. Say you don't want to start over here in the joy category. You're like, no, actually, I'm feeling down. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling broken. Okay, cool. Let's make some art from that place. So what are you struggling with right now? My work actually stemmed, and I'll talk about this later, from my pain, my desire to start my personal artwork. That's what all these drawings are that you see behind me, this woman jumping off into the cliff. If you go to Epic Bones, it's epicbones.com. That's my personal art website. You'll see all my art prints. All that artwork is me trying to reconcile with how am I going to do this? How am I going to return to my artwork? That's what I was drawing about. For me, acceptance of my gray hair. Look at this streak. Oh my gosh, I'm 41. I've got this giant gray streak in my hair. My family is like, oh my gosh, why aren't you dyeing your hair? It's this big to-do. I could make art about that. Political topics. There's a lot going on right now that's causing a lot of pain. I could make art about that. My in-laws just moved right next to us, an hour away. I could make art about that. Finding jeans that fit right. I could make 100 drawings about that. Some funny comics about me going to the store and trying to find the right jeans. The winter, I don't like the winter. I could make drawings about that. And my health. I actually might take that on as a theme in the next card deck that I do. So make your list. If this is where you want to start with, what are you struggling with right now? And what do you have to say about it? How do you feel about it? That's where you can start. And some examples is, let's look at Yayoi Kusama, who is still living. I think she's 94. She is arguably one of the most important female artists of our time. And her work started from a deep place of pain. She was and still does deal with hallucinations. That's what all of these dots in her work are. She is most known for her sculpture and her installation work, but she also does paintings and all sorts of different work. But all of it has this theme of dots, the polka dot. And it's not just like a cute little motif. This is coming from a place of deep pain because she, from a young age, was seeing these hallucinations of these dots and it was consuming her. It was debilitating. She would feel like she was getting engrossed and lost in it and losing herself. And she started to channel that distress into her drawings and she started drawing these dots. And not only did she start doing that, it made her feel better. It was relieving some of the anxiety and depression. It was a self-soothing mechanism. And it was dots, 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 dots. She would draw dots on flowers or portraits or just fill the page with dots. And it's actually incredible, her journey, because her mother did not want her to be an artist or making art at all. She came from a very abusive family life. And her mother wanted to arrange a marriage for her and have her be a nice housewife. And Yaya was not having this. She took off and went to New York and started her art career. And this theme of dots stayed with her the entire time because this is her struggle. This is her pain. And her art is a way to translate her experience of the world. And let's look at a singer, Etta James, this song, Stormy Weather. Now, Etta James did not write this song. She's singing a cover song. There's many people that have sung this song. A lot of famous people have covered this song, Stormy Weather. But the way Etta James sings it, I can feel the heartache in her voice, that deep, earthy voice. It is so beautiful to me. And I want to hear her sing it. I want to hear her rendition. And her pain, she's channeling this like unrequited love, this torment, and it's coming through in her voice, and I can feel that. And it is beautiful, but it's coming from her being like, okay, what does this song represent? How can I bring that pain to this song? This song is very sad, it's a sad song. And she brings this to life in a way that nobody else can. Alok, if you do not know Alok, highly recommend. They are a non-gender conforming poet, comedian, author, speaker, and their work is coming from a place of deep pain and just the torment and violence against trans and non-gender conforming people in this world. And the poetry, the performances that Alok is bringing to the table are incredible. And it's coming from a place of pain. They said, okay, this is a topic that I am struggling with and I am not okay with. Let me create art about this. Let me speak to this. And now there's this beautiful body of work that they have presented to the world, and it's absolutely incredible. And Huda Fame, I love this woman. You can check her out on Instagram at Yes, I'm Hot in This. And she is a Muslim American, and her whole life, as you can imagine, she grew up in Detroit, I think, and then later went to Houston. And her struggle was people talking about her hijab and being like, you don't have to wear that. Why are you wearing that? Aren't you hot in this? All this chit chatter about her hijab, her faith, all that stuff. And she was an English teacher, I think, and eventually started drawing comics and posting them on Instagram. And it was coming from this source of pain. She was like, I don't like this struggle, but here it is. Here I am. Let me translate what's going on in my head, in my heart about this topic onto the page. And now we have an incredible body of work from her. She's created probably thousands of comics. She has multiple books. She's a National Book Award finalist. I mean, she's really doing some great stuff, and it's coming from this source of pain in her life. And she's using that as a springboard and saying, okay, what do I have to say about this? How do I feel about this? And me, I actually, you probably would not guess it, but I create art from a source of pain. And it's kind of confusing because my work is very inspirational. So these are my black and white Procreate drawings. And what I do, it's kind of like a call and response. So this woman diving into the unknown, it's like, wow, that's so freeing and liberating. She's jumping into the unknown. That's so inspiring. It makes me feel something. But that's in response to my struggle of feeling trapped, feeling like I don't have time, feeling like I don't know how to do this, feeling like it's never going to work. And I ask myself, how would I want to feel? How would it feel to not feel like that? And then I create art from that place. This woman on the motorcycle, it says, just watch me. This drawing actually is in response to that negative self-talk that we were talking about yesterday. And this is me talking back to my mental chatter. My mental chatter is saying, like, you can't do this. This isn't good enough. You know, this medium is like, is this even art? And my response is this image being like, oh yeah, just watch me. And what does that feel like? What would that feel like to be like, yeah, just watch me do this? I would feel like I was racing through the streets on a motorcycle, wind in my hair. That's what it would feel like. So that's where this drawing came from. So what I'm asking you to do in this whole workshop series is to really think about, can you rescope your intention based on yesterday? Can you rescope your intention to be smaller, simpler, easier, and faster to complete so you can get those quick wins, complete projects, complete these finished works, move on to the next one, complete, move on to the next one, so that you can get that consistency. And along the way, can you see the distractions for what they are? And today we covered, can you pick a creative lens, whether it's joy or pain, and get to work? Like, that's it. Can you do that? You know? And I feel like we overcomplicate this, and it gets messy and it gets confusing, and it doesn't have to be. It really gets to be this simple, but it does require trust, and it does require continuous maintenance of the mind and self-awareness around what the true reality really is. And that's the trick. That's what's hard about this. And that's why a lot of people don't stick with their creative work. So for homework, what I want you to do is I'm going to post another Facebook post for the homework. So all you have to do is think about, like, if I was going to choose a creative lens that Leanne was talking about today, which one do I resonate the most with? Would I springboard from a place of joy, or would I springboard from a place of pain to create my work? And I'm hoping that that combined with what we covered yesterday will get you started. And I'm going to pick two winners for the homework from the post that I'm going to make today with this question. And one of them is going to get a 60% off scholarship to 100 Epic Days that I'm going to talk about in a minute. And another winner is going to get a 45-minute private coaching session with me. So all you have to do is post a comment in the homework thread and you will be automatically entered to win. And I'll pick 2 winners tomorrow and announce that. So it'll be so much fun. And today I'm gonna announce the homework winner from yesterday. So Beth Ann Doring, you won my card deck. So this is my Epic Bones card deck that I made with all my drawings about overcoming my resistance and self-doubt about being a mom and creating artwork again. And Beth Reese Ferris, you win a private coaching session with me. So we will reach out to both of you to arrange that. So that is so exciting. And if you're thinking to yourself, but wait, Leanne, like, don't leave me. I'm like loving this. I'm getting on a roll with this. I want to invite you to learn more about how we can work together. So if you're not interested in my programs or my coaching, thank you so much for your time. I hope this workshop was so helpful. You do not have to stay. But if you want to learn more about what I offer, I'm about to go into that. And it's just been so much fun sharing with you all. I really do love this. I love being in a community of creative people. And I know that we don't get a lot of opportunities to do that as adults. We just don't, you know, and this is a different lens where we're coming at it from like, but why is it hard? And I think it's so much different than going to like the wine and paint night. It's like, yeah, we're having fun, but it's just this one-off thing. And I love these spaces where we can talk about like, but how do I live the life of the artist? So now I want to talk about my program, 100 Epic Days. So this is a 4-month group immersion where I help you start and get super consistent showing up for either a daily creative practice or a personal project amidst the chaos of life. And that part is key. I'm not going to ignore the fact that we all have either demanding day jobs, a house full of kids, or just a mountain of overwhelm and resistance. That can be sometimes even more challenging than, you know, the logistical things that take us away from our art. So this program starts on February 5th. So we start in about 2 weeks. And what I do is starting on February 5th, we have this Epic Prep Week. So that's where we are going deep. I have 4 live calls and we are in a group space on Zoom. So it's very interactive and I take you through my step-by-step method for how to pick your idea, scope and plan it so that it makes sense for your specific life circumstances. And then I bring you through a series of tools that's going to set you up for success so that you actually stick with it. And all I ask is for you to work on your creative goal for 20 minutes a day. And I know that that doesn't seem a lot, but it's perfect. I've done this for 6 rounds already. And it's the exact amount of time. 20 minutes a day is all I'm asking. And it adds up over time, over the sustained amount of time. It brings you all the way through. We get through March, April, May, and day 100. We march for 100 days. We all start our goal together on day 1. And we march together for 100 days doing our creative act together. So what you get in this experience is the Epic Prep Week, so that those 4 group calls I just talked about, they're about an hour long. There's replays if you can't join live. And you get a creative community. It's not in Facebook. It's in a platform called Circle, which is awesome, and I love it. I've used it for the last 2 rounds now, and it's really cool. It's a community platform, and in there you have daily support from me. So if you've been loving having a space to come to get with someone that really understands this journey, this is where it happens. You can post in there every single day and you will get support from either the group of like-minded creatives that's in there or from me and coaching from me, access to me who's walked this journey myself and brought so many artists, writers, musicians through this now, where I really have it nailed down on how to guide you through this so that you actually get consistent, you actually overcome all of that resistance that you have. And it's one thing to know what to do, but having a community and a space to really reflect and integrate what you're learning and who you're becoming, that's what brings you the transformation. That's what gets you to the other side where you're just super consistent with your creative work, even though you have all these constraints. That's what gets you there. And we also have a bi-weekly hot seat coaching call. So every 2 weeks, we're getting on Zoom together and we're sharing, how is it going? What's working? What's not working? Why is it hard? Why is it good? Let's celebrate. Let's work through stuff. We're getting together every 2 weeks to keep that motivation going. And then we celebrate at the end, which is super fun. And I want to share some examples of people that have gone through this. So Hannah, who was 2 rounds ago, she is a graphic designer for her day job, and she had really been wanting to create her own children's book. She'd been wanting to do this for over a decade, but perfectionism and burnout had really been getting in the way. She just could not get this going. So she went through the Epic Prep Week. We talked her off the ledge of perfectionism. She wanted to do this like 70-page graphic novel. And we put that aside and she lowered the stakes and chose this very simple, short children's book about cats because she loves her cats. And not only did she write the book, she wrote the entire book in 100 days. She created all the thumbnail sketches for every single page. She laid it out and she figured out the style for the drawings and got half of the book illustrated in the 100 days. And the tangible result was exciting, but what she was most excited about is who she became because of being in this experience. She learned how to show up for herself after work and how to just chip away at this in little chunks of time and how to move through all those stuck points that I've talked about in this workshop. We did that together, and that's what she was so proud of. And that's why she said at the end, this was life-changing because now she can apply those lessons to anything. And it was really, really exciting. So you can check out Studio Hannah Art on Instagram if you want to see what she's all about. And then Cindy is another person that really surprised us. So Cindy was going through a huge burnout from a corporate job. She had taken a sabbatical and she really wanted to do something for herself during this time away from work. She was in a very unstable mindset place, feeling very lost. And there was something about 100 Epic Days that she just felt this intuitive call to do it. And what she said was that it became this act of self-care and grounding that carried her through a really tough time in her life, that very difficult transition time. And what she chose to do for her 100 Epic Days was little doodles on paper. Every morning she would get up and just sketch. And these are her little drawings. She would just, no fuss about it, just get her pen and a sketchbook and draw these doodles. She did 1 doodle a day. You can check out the doodles, Cindy B Doodles. And all along the way, she's like, what is the point of this? I love the grounding practice of this. I love how I feel, but where is this all going? And I had no idea where it was going. But guess what? A year later, she comes back to me and she's like, oh my gosh, I I turned those drawings into a service. So what she does now is she incorporates those doodles into this business that she's created called Soul Brush, where she does intuitive readings and healing with people. And while she's doing the session, she is drawing, and she gives the drawing to the person at the end of the session. And now she has this business that she never saw coming. She was doing some coaching and healing before 100 Epic Days, but she never would have guessed that she would be combining her art with her coaching and healing. And that's what you get. It's like, trust the process, and out pops the surprise if you can hang in there. And then Ainsley is a musician. She came to me, so she had been performing. She lives in New Orleans, so she'd been doing a lot of live events. She's in a band, but she really wanted to start composing music for herself that would eventually she could apply to TV or film or some other means. And she wanted to get more comfortable composing music. And for her, it was just a lot of fear, a lot of that mental chatter that was getting in the way and that was stopping her from composing. And during the Epic Prep Week, you know, we talked her off the ledge. She figured out how to lower the stakes. And she showed up on Instagram, which was really cool. And you can go to Ainsley Maddock and scroll back and see her 100 Epic Days. And she would show up every day. Sometimes it was just like a little ditty she would do on the piano. She was improvising. Sometimes she was writing, composing music by hand, like on paper. Sometimes she was in the computer putting compositions together. Sometimes she was on the guitar singing. It was really cool to see this process unfold. And by the end, what she said was that blanket of fear just got lifted, and she was just so comfortable, and she trusted herself, and she gained that confidence that I've been talking about because she had been showing up day after day doing this thing that she so desired, and she was held in this space to do that. So what I'm offering everyone in this workshop is a coupon code to get 20% off 100 Epic Days. It is already discounted, 20%. It's on early bird pricing right now, which ends on Thursday. So this coupon code is good until Thursday, January 25th at midnight Eastern Standard Time. If you use the coupon code MAKE20 at checkout, it will take an additional 20% off. So the pay in full price, it will take it down to $2,500. And there's also a couple different payment plans in there. There's a 3-month payment plan, a 6-month payment plan, and a 12-month payment plan. So the lowest one is the 12-month, and that takes it down to $228 a month. You can be a part of this experience. So if this is something that you really want to do, and you really want to decide that, yes, I am going to invest in myself, I am going to do this time, I'm going to ensure that I actually follow through with this thing that I keep saying that I want to do, but for whatever reason, life gets in the way or the mental chatter just blocks you out. This is the place to come where you can feel very confident that you are going to be held in this energy. And you probably felt that energy being in this workshop. You probably felt it. And if you, like me and how I'm coaching, you get this energy for 100 days. And that's why this works. People that resonate with the way that I teach, with the way that I coach, they are held in that space, and it feels so good to have someone on the other side of your personal creative goals that can speak to all the things that you're going through. So I love doing this. This is my greatest joy. I love my art, but what I love equally is helping other creatives out of this hole that we find ourselves in for whatever reason. And I know how hard it is, and I know how much that hurts because I was there. I was there for 10 years not making personal artwork for myself. And I know what it's like to be on the other side now. And just now I'm just tearing through my drawings and I love it. And it's easy and I can sit down and there's no fear, there's no hesitation. I just make the thing and it feels so good. So I would love for you to join me for 100 Epic Days. You can go to leannebrennan.com if you want to check this program out. We start on February 5th and the doors close on January 31st. And that coupon code is good for about 48 hours. So take advantage of that if this is something that you really want to commit to. And if you want to follow me, if the program is not for you, follow me on my podcast. I have the Creative Threshold podcast. This is a great place to get free teaching, free stories of people who have gone through this and come out the other side. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, any podcast player. Just search for the Creative Threshold podcast. And follow me on Instagram. I'm at Create with Leanne, and there's 2 E's, Leeanne. And I have a lot of sassy statements and comments on there that will kind of kick you in the butt and get you inspired to take on your work. So my calls to action here are do your homework. So I will follow up and post that homework thread in our Facebook group, and you'll be entered into the giveaway. If you want to join the VIP experience, I'm doing a hot seat coaching call tomorrow. There's going to be 2 sessions. So there's going to be a session at 11 a.m. and a session at 6 p.m. And this is a great way to get really inexpensive coaching. It's only $27 to join the VIP, and you get lifetime access to the workshop recordings, and you get the group hot seat coaching call. So not a lot of people have joined this, so you're going to get a lot of time and attention from me. It's a 90-minute call. You can join either session. You can join both. I did 2 sessions because I know there's a lot of different time zones happening in this group. So take advantage of that. If you're like, look, I want personal attention, join the VIP and get in there in the coaching call tomorrow. And then a reminder that the replays for this workshop will be up for a week, and then they will be taken down. So the replays will be available until January 30th, and the Facebook group will be archived on February 1st. So I think that's it, everyone. I am just so happy that you all found this helpful. Let me know in the comments if you experienced some shifts in this workshop. That's my greatest hope, is that even if it was something small, something changed inside of you to show you that this really is a possibility for you to return to your personal work or to view it in a different light, to make it easier, to make it more enjoyable. Our personal work does not have to be a struggle. It really can be just an incredible personal practice that we do for ourselves. And that's what my drawings have become. And like I said, I do these small black and white drawings on Procreate. That's what I'm able to do right now as a busy mom, a freelancer, and now a coach. That's what I can take on. I work on my drawings 20 minutes a day, and I've been able to make all of these drawings that are now art prints on an online shop. I sell them. Strangers find my work somehow and buy them. I have a card deck. I'm working on my 2nd card deck that is going to be completed actually in this next round of 100 Epic Days. I forgot to share that. I work on my project with you, which is super fun. So I'm in there posting every day my progress. And, you know, in a matter of a couple years, working 20 minutes a day, because I've had this framework and structure, I have been able to blast through all of this work and create a body of work that I'm actually really proud of, even though it's not what I thought it was going to be. Remember, I thought I was going to be making an independent animation. I will someday, not right now. I thought I was going to be making these large acrylic paintings that be exhibiting in galleries. I see these digital drawings I've been doing. I see them as large paintings, but not right now. That's okay. I will build up to that. My capacity will expand. And actually my capacity has expanded, but I'm directing my extra energy towards this coaching business right now. If I wasn't doing the coaching business, I would be probably doing more with my art, but I'm keeping my art consistent in the structure that I have with the black and white drawings on Procreate so that I can have energy to bring you workshops like this and my podcast and all the things to help other creatives. So I know that it seems like, oh my gosh, how is this all going to work? And sometimes that can get in the way. And sometimes we have to let go of the how. That's not our job to know how. Our job is to show up and do our work because showing up and doing our art is what leads to where we are going to go. And it's probably going to be different than where we imagined. And we just have to trust that it's going to be perfect. It's going to be great. Just let it happen. And I think that's part of the struggle is just this letting go and letting that just unfold. And that's part of what I help people do. Money exchange can do for people. And I know that's what's allowed me to grow as a coach. I've been taking business coaching and in these group programs to learn all of this stuff on how to run these workshops and do all these things. And when I pay money to do that, I know I'm going to put the time in. So that's what I wanted to share with you all. And so much fun. And I've loved sharing with you all. Let's stay in touch on Instagram. I'm at Create with Leanne, and definitely check out my podcast, the Creative Threshold Podcast. There are some gold mines in there, and it's really a great way to get this free resource to keep the momentum going if you liked this workshop. So thank you all so much. Do your homework, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay?